Good morning, welcome to SMTAI International. It's a premier conference here in the United States with workshops, technical sessions on many process-related issues. The opening keynote this morning is on virtual reality, which is on everybody's lips. It's the new way to experience entertainment, design prototype cars and troubleshoot electronics equipment in the field. Rune Jensen from Microsoft takes visitors through a journey into mixed reality, which is where virtual reality meets the industrial space. Also today there's going to be a series of technical tours which have been offered to visitors interested in new product lines and test equipment lines. And not forgetting, we have a series of panel discussions today, the first one on failure analysis challenges and techniques, and the second on optimizing oven dynamics, the next step in smart factory automation. We'll be broadcasting these on Facebook Live tomorrow, that's Wednesday at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. So make sure and join us for these. My first guest this morning is Paul Smith. He's the General Manager for Comet Technologies USA. Welcome, Paul.
Thank you, Trevor. I'm happy to be here.
Great. Well, we're here really to talk about a really exciting new project you've got coming up in Silicon Valley, in San Jose to be specific, called Lab One.
Yes.
Tell us, or tell our viewers, what is Lab One?
Well, Lab One is a new project from Comet Group, and our intention here, Trevor, is to bring all of our technologies into one place, and it's a collaboration of development of new applications in the industry.
Right.
And with that, Comet hopes to ignite new long-term relationships with existing and new customers.
Great, great. So now Comet Group technologies themselves cross a number of different technology areas. There's three principal ones. There's RF power, Exelon and X-ray, and then of course we have E-beam. Can you explain a little bit to our viewers on each of these technology areas?
So the core technologies of Comet Group are vacuum systems, and they are vacuum capacitors used in RF power systems, X-ray tubes used in X-ray systems, and E-beam tubes used in E-beam systems. And these three core technologies we're now vertically integrating to help customers solve problems and develop new applications.
Right, great. And there's some really exciting stuff you do that. You work across, for example, everything from X-raying tires and that sort of thing, and working in the medical industry to actually sanitizing food packaging.
Yes, very much so. And it's a lot of broad technology that really is used every day in normal life, going through X-ray inspection systems, automotive industry, electronics, medical, sanitation, as you mentioned, or food processing,
right.
And even in our plasma segment is really the processing of semiconductor films, which key OEMs use in the semiconductor industry every day.
Excellent. So I believe one of the ideas behind Lab One is to try and get some cross-pollination going between customers and visitors that come in to use the facilities. Is that the idea, to try and get, somebody comes in on the semiconductor side, they might say, well, there's something in the X-ray side that we could actually use, and
absolutely. I call it cross-segment pollination or cross-segment marketing. Customers actually have many new applications, and they don't know what new technologies are available. So oftentimes a customer will come in for a plasma application, look at an X-ray system and say, hey, can I measure my elements, my heater, my throttle valve, these complex assemblies inside the semi-space or inside industrial space. And at the same time, an X-ray customer will come in and say, hey, what do you do with this E-beam? And what can I cure? What can I treat? And so this is, I think, really going to catch fire. This is really an exciting part of Lab One, how customers can come together and then see new applications immediately.
Right. Well, it's certainly an exciting space, Paul. Remind us, when is the opening? When do we expect to see the start of this project?
So the grand opening is October 4th, and it's an evening event. And after October 4th, we'll have many other events, monthly events, open houses, and we'll sure to get the information out as these events come up. And we're all very excited. We have, I think, a very nice program set up for that evening.
Great. So look out for that. Lab One opening October 4th in San Jose, Silicon Valley. Paul, I want to thank you very much for joining us today and giving us this update.
Thank you, Trevor. It was very good to be here.
Thank you. So that's it for the first part of the show. Come join us after the break for our second guest, who will be joining me from WebDFM.
Sponsored by Panasonic, delivering smart factory solutions for any mix, any volume. Introducing the new NPM W2S. Learn more at panasonicfa.com.
And welcome back. I should just mention from our last guest, Paul Smith there, that the Lab 1 opening on October 4th is an executive event by invitation only, but we'll be bringing you highlights on Global SMT TV, of course, and on other programs. My next guests today are Dana Bailey, on my extreme left here, from WebDFM, and of course his colleague here, Craig Curie. Welcome, gentlemen, nice to see you.
Trevor, it's nice to see you. Nice to be in Chicago. We had a great day yesterday. The sun was out.
Yep.
Today it's raining, so I think we got our one good day.
It's a good day to be inside.
No
then.
offense to Chicago, but yeah, it's great to be here. Great to be here.
Great. So, Dana, let me start with you because you're the president and CEO of the company. Tell me about WebDFM. How does it work, and what does it offer?
Yeah, so
users?
WebDFM is a design analysis DFM service as all companies, EMS companies, we start with data, and so WebDFM tries to check that design to make sure it's ready for manufacturing before getting it on the line and finding the problems.
Right, okay. So it analyzes the data. Now, one of the big issues, of course, a lot of EMS companies have is that they go through a lot of turns before the product actually gets into production. They go through typically 5 to 6 turns.
Yeah.
Does WebDFM help to reduce the number of turns?
Exactly.
That companies
So
need?
So what WebDFM does is checks the data in the design. It can be done concurrently with engineers as they're doing the design and right before the build, right? So the whole intention is to save time and cycles and improve quality and efficiency for a manufacturing line as well.
You know, the simple version, garbage in, garbage out.
Right.
Good data in, good manufacturing out.
Yeah. Okay. What about security? I mean, this is obviously a web-based thing, so I mean, a lot of people are very sensitive about their designs.
So we have multiple secure FTP and data transfer methods. It's absolutely secured, and so there's no problem with that from a security standpoint.
And you know, the second biggest thing that happens, especially here at these trade shows, when you're looking at these beautiful pieces of equipment off to our left that cost $250,000 a pop, what really got me interested in helping Dana promote this, you know, having run an EMS company and been the recipient of some of the less than complete data customers sometimes send us, and having to turn it into good boards anyway, is Dana's service is he's automated to the point where between $50 and $150, you get basically almost free insurance, knowing that when you go to put a part on the board at the placement machine or the stencil over the board on the stencil machine, everything's going to fit.
Wow.
And so for $150 to $50 to run a design through and get all the fab DFM, all the assembly DFM, all the files out, it's just the cheapest insurance I can possibly think of as a CM.
So it's not a subscription service. It's something that people they can pick it up and use it, or not use it.
We've pushed the pricing to so even the smallest EMS or the smallest designs, they should be able to just run through and we really try to have a 24-hour turnaround time on it and have very clear feedback. So it gives the EMS provider kind of a jump start on the design and the data, and really we believe we've really tried to push it down to the smallest vendor and to be affordable so they can run it on every new job that gets run through.
And it's a la carte.
It really is.
Right.
When
Yeah.
you pay as you go.
Yeah.
If you do 2 a year, you pay twice a year. If you do 2,000 a year, you pay 2,000 a year.
Interesting, interesting. Now, you know, we mentioned just off camera there that it does integrate, I believe, with the Industry 4.0 systems that are out there. Can you explain a little bit what you mean by that?
I can, and you know I'm passionate about the Industry 4.0 moniker, and to soften my position a little bit that I've previously said. So Industry 4.0 is where we're going.
Right.
But in my mind, EMS companies fall into 3 tiers. And I'm not talking about the traditional tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 by revenue. I call them the hangers-on, the hundreds of CMs that are barely hanging in there, trying to differentiate, eking out 5% margin, have older equipment, and you know they're working hard, they've got mortgage payments to make, they're doing everything they can to stay alive in this business, and it's a tough slog for them. And their equipment doesn't talk to each other. They don't have software programmers to write, to interface to industry anything. They're a kind of Industry 1.0.
Right.
So Dana's service can help them because they can take these designs in and rest assured that when they hit the line, they're not going to have to change the stencil at the last minute or change the placement program on an older machine because they have the wrong data.
Right.
You've got the middle guys and gals who have succeeded. And all succeeded in EMS means is you've gotten beyond 5% margin and you're not on your way out of business.
Right.
And you can afford to buy stuff. They might have multiple sites, they might be 700 million, they might be 50 million, but they found a differentiation and a niche and they're succeeding.
Right.
What he's got can help them. And so what I say is this helps enable Industry 4.0. So the data WebDFM is putting out is standard. If you use that service 25 times, you're going to get the same 25 pieces of data, and it's continuing to expand. It drives, here's data for placement machines, here's data for this, here's data for that, and it's a standard output. And then the billion-dollar guys and gals who are kind of beyond our strata here, they have teams of people that can implement Industry 4.0.
Right.
And so I think the industry, as you know how passionately I feel about this, I think we're at about Industry 1.2 for everybody but the billion-dollar guys and gals. I think they're at 3.2 and moving forward quickly. And sooner or later, the industry is going to come together, the standards bodies will come together, and a solution will happen.
Be fine.
But in the meantime, his stuff is going to get the smart factory going.
Great. Now you make a very interesting point because, you know, if you talk to companies like Cisco, for example, and you ask what data should I be capturing for Industry 4.0, they say basically capture everything. So if you're doing that service up front for people when they're using your WebDFM, then when they get to the point where they're ready to use that data, they can call on it.
Right.
And we see that it's very challenging in the industry, especially for the small and medium tier. It's a challenging business, so we're trying to give them as much tools and data as they can. When they're ready to use it, it's there.
Brilliant. Okay. Very exciting product. Thanks for coming in, guys.
Trevor, thanks again.
You know, we're looking forward to hearing more as we go forward.
Thank you very much, Trevor.
And that kind of wraps it up for today, for the first day at SMTAI. We'll be bringing you, of course, the panel discussions tomorrow morning, and we'll also be bringing you more news tomorrow from Chicago.